What's going on, guys? My name is Zed and welcome to this video. I was thinking this morning, there's a lot of movies I have never seen, and there's a lot of very popular movies that I've never seen. So that's a video. I went through my collection picking out said movies, and now I'm here and I'm going to talk about those movies I've never seen, which means I don't really have much to say about these movies because I've never seen them. So here we go. This is probably the quintessential movie. IMDb had this as the best movie of all time on their list for a very long time, and it very well could be still their number one pick. And that is Orson Welles' Citizen Kane. I've tried to watch this movie, actually, and I enjoyed what I saw. I appreciated it, and I thought it was damn good. But I got interrupted, and I never went back to finish it. So, yeah, that's Citizen Kane. Never seen it. Don't have much to say. Inception. One of the only Christopher Nolan movies I've never seen. Well, I've seen a good hunk of it. I've actually watched probably the first half hour of this movie uninterrupted, but then yet again, it was interrupted for me, and I never went back and finished it. Inception. Great score, though. I've listened to the score a lot. 300. An action movie, one that you can't really take for its realistic depiction of any type of history, but it's this is based off of like a graphic novel, and I believe is this Zack Snyder? Yeah, it is. It is a Zack Snyder movie. This movie is referenced a lot. This is Sparta. That was my ringtone, my message ringtone for like 2 years. And I've never seen the movie. So, yeah, 300. Silence of the Lambs. Now, this is one that I actually want to watch pretty damn soon. I have been doing a lot of different research about this movie, and it looks fantastic. But I've never seen it. I've seen big hunks of the movie just through fact videos and through my own research and whatever, but in its entirety, never seen it. There's actually a scene from this movie that was just shown to me the other day by Pickford, and yeah, I had never seen that scene before. I had no idea it existed. Next up, we have Fight Club. Now, this movie I have owned in my collection. It's actually one of the first movies I ever got in my collection. And not this edition of it, but I've had this movie for a very long time, and I've wanted to watch it. I have just never... Look at that. Tyler Turden says, use soap. How fitting for today's times. But I've never watched it. So, yeah, Fight Club. Requiem for a Dream. Now, this one is probably the most weird choice, most different choice to have on this list. And the only reason I have this on here is because it's kind of like a modern classic. Or at least somewhat modern. Yeah, 2000s? Yeah. Or like, yeah, 2000. I've heard that this movie, that after you're finished watching it, you'll sit on the couch in silence for like a half hour. And I haven't prepared myself for that. Yeah, Requiem for a Dream. I think, what is this? It's Jared Leto and Jennifer Connelly, like the only two actors I know in this movie. I know this guy right here, but I can't remember his name. He's one of the Wayans brothers. Oh, Marlon Wayans. He's in what? He's like in Scary Movie, or what's the, is it Scary Movie? Yeah, Scary Movie. He's in the Scary Movies. And then next up we have The Sixth Sense. And this one's on the list for quite an obvious reason. I already know where the movie goes. I already know how it ends. It's been spoiled for me 10 times over. And it's kind of hard for me to go into a movie knowing the ending and how the ending is so crucial to the story. I'm sure it's still a great movie, but I heard that its rewatch value is next to none. So, Brokeback Mountain. I actually went to go watch this movie about a week ago. But it was after I watched Jake Gyllenhaal breaking down his career. And when he got to Brokeback Mountain, they played that very famous scene of, you know, I can't stop loving you. We're just a couple of high altitude fucks, like that whole scene. And it was beautiful. It was all nice and full screen or widescreen. This is actually, spoiler alert, it was actually beautiful widescreen, and it was beautifully shot. I just bumped my table again. Beautifully shot, and I was so intrigued by it, just because of how beautiful the scenery was. And I went to grab my movie, I popped it in, and then I realized it was full screen. And I'm not usually a stickler to full screen. I think that's okay. But it wasn't even the full screen that took up the majority of my screen. It was like a box in the middle of my screen. I was like, fuck no, I'm not watching this movie in a small little box. So I gave up on it. I know I own this movie twice in my collection. This is actually the second time I picked up the movie, but I cannot find my first copy for the life of me. And then next up we have Dirty Dancing. There's not much I can say about this movie. I believe this came a year after Ferris Bueller's Day Off. No One Puts Baby in the Corner. There's like a scene, like a line from this movie. But yeah, I know next to nothing about this movie other than it's Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey doing a lot of sexy dancing. The Sound of Music. This is kind of a bit of a caveat because I'm pretty sure I've watched this movie. Whether it was in music class or whether it was on TV when I was a young kid, I'm pretty sure I've watched this movie, but I have next to no recollections of it. I believe that the majority of my memories very well could come from a lot of the videos I've watched over the years. Like the opening scene, very iconic. I think like Julie Andrews escaped to the mountains with a bunch of like kids, and they're trying to escape from the Nazis. I don't know. Just like weird memories I think I have of this movie. But yeah, The Sound of Music, never seen it. These two, along with a third movie, are the only three movies I've never seen from this director. And that is Kill Bill and Kill Bill Volume 2. The only other movie I've never seen from Quentin Tarantino is Jackie Brown. I've actually watched a good chunk of Kill Bill. I got to the point where they have like the animated sequence. But my back was out that day, and I was just not in the mood to continue watching the movie, so I turned it off and I just never turned it back on. And then Kill Bill Volume 2, I've just never seen. I've seen parts of it. I think at like Thanksgiving, or maybe even Christmas. It was Christmas of last year. I watched the sequence of the bride training with her master, the very stereotypical like Asian master with the really long white beard and stuff. I watched that sequence, but it was on mute. So there we go. And then last but not least, we have the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I own this trilogy 3 times in my collection, and I've never seen it. Again, a bit of a caveat. I have seen Fellowship of the Ring. I have seen this movie, but the reason I'm including this is because I haven't seen the whole trilogy, never seen any of the Hobbit movies. So I'm including the whole trilogy here, even though I have seen the Fellowship of the Ring. It just, if you're going to watch this one, only people in their right mind would watch the other two, but I just stopped at the first one. I was like, yep, that's enough. That's good. Yeah, so that's it. Those are the movies I picked out to have in this video. There are plenty of other movies I have never watched, and there's probably a good handful of movies. Well, I know there's a good handful of movies in my collection that are very popular that I've never watched. So maybe I'll make another one of these in the future, who knows. But thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And until next time, guys, I'll be seeing you later. Peace. One more thing. While looking through my collection, I realized that I own 3 copies of Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. Oh, and Pickford, I know exactly what you're going to say. Oh, yes, I watched Zed's new video today, and, well, it was about movies he never seen, but, he watched, like, a majority of most of the movies on the list, so, apparently it's not really a list of movies that he's never seen before.